You are joining Making a Difference with Melissa Clark, a new show that shares the compelling stories and voices of well-known and everyday people who change the world in big and small ways. Enjoy our guests, call in, or just listen to be inspired. For this show was made with you in mind. Please join us every Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with our special guests. And you can listen to our recast at www.melissaclarkshow.com.
Hey guys, thanks so much for joining us here on Making a Difference. Happy Saturday. I hope everybody had a fantastic week. I know that I did. We have such a special show today. It's going to focus on healthcare and self-care. I have a wonderful plastic surgeon on, Dr. Shafaie, who actually took care of I had vasor lipo, I believe it's called. So he's going to discuss the procedure and everything that we went through and my experience. And then we have the wonderful Julien Farel, who is a celebrity hairstylist. And I'm just so happy to see these guys again. I work with them, and we're going to talk about a soft opening and how we're all going to stay protected when we start going back into these businesses. But first, I have beautiful Dr. Carolyn Whitney. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for asking.
Thank you so much. Dr. Whitney comes from Memphis, Tennessee. She is a patient-preferred pediatrician. She has over 3 decades of experience in her field and has been rated a 5-star physician by her patients and many families that she's treated over the years. Dr. Whitney is a humble and compassionate doctor. I've been talking to her for about 2 weeks now, and she's just a wonderful woman. I'm so happy to have you on, Dr. Whitney. She's been recognized amongst the top 100 patient-preferred physicians of 2019 and was recently featured on the cover of Preferred Health magazine. We're so excited to have you.
Well, thank you. I'm excited to be here. I am.
How's it in Memphis, Tennessee right now? How's everything?
It's overcast.
It's an overcast?
It's overcast and raining all day, yes. But otherwise, beautiful. Otherwise.
Are they starting to open stores over there? Or has...
We have gradually started to open, beauty salons, thank God. I had to go to one. But we opened beauty shops, nail shops, and some restaurants and some fine retails.
Wow, I'm going to have to head over to Memphis, Tennessee to get my nails done.
Oh, yeah. It's a slow process. We're doing phases through 1, 2, and 3. So that's how.
Very good. Very good. Just be safe, and we're just so happy to have you here. I just want to show the cover of your magazine. We were so happy to have you on the cover. How does it feel to know that you're recognized by your peers and your patients?
It's a wonderful feeling because as a doctor, it's a labor of love, but also can be a thankless job. Yeah. And there's no greater praise than you have your colleagues, your family, your comrades think highly of you and how you're a preferred physician.
I love it. Now, looking at your career, when did you first know that you wanted to become a doctor?
When I was 12.
When you were 12?
I was 12. I've been taking care of babies for 50 years. My mother was a neighborhood babysitter, and we would take care of the kids and watch them grow and nurture them and feed them. But my most definitive thought about being a doctor occurred with my twin. I have an identical twin. She was 16, and she was hospitalized, and she had this severe abdominal pain and vomiting. And I knew that my sister was sick, and so my sister had to be readmitted and had to have an appendectomy.
Oh my God!
So
can you explain?
An appendectomy is just when you remove the appendix.
Oh,
she had to remove
appendicitis. But I know.
Yes.
Okay, you say the doctor term. I'll say the layman's term.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. So she had so she had her appendix removed, and how is she?
Oh, she's fine. She's fine. But I realized there was something wrong, and I told the doctor that. And because I was a 16-year-old, they didn't pay attention to me. They didn't.
Wow. What were her symptoms that she was having?
She had fever, vomiting, lethargy, where she was weak, severe abdominal pain, and it just radiated right at that right side and wouldn't get better. And she was just sick. She wouldn't eat. She couldn't sleep. All she could do was vomit and be in pain. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my God. I'm glad that she's okay, because you can actually, how severe is that when you have appendicitis? I remember my mother had it, and if it wasn't taken care of at the right time, she could have perished, they said. Yeah, correct.
It ruptures, and it's not really the rupture, but the release of all that toxic pus and inflammation into the system can inflame the entire abdominal area and just cause havoc and gangrene almost. So it's really dangerous.
Wow.
It's really dangerous.
We don't need our appendix. Is that right, Dr. Whitney?
Oh, yes, we do.
We
need everything that God gave us. We do need it, but it's not as, as necessary as like your heart, your lungs, your toes, your head. But everything God gave us has a purpose. It's just that it's one of those things that we can live without and function well.
Okay. And can you explain to us what the function of the appendix is, please?
Well, it's kind of like part of the lower intestines. And then some people say it helps to get rid of, fecal matter and things like that. That's why a lot of fecal matter gets inflamed in there and trapped in there, and that's what causes problems.
Wow.
But it helps with the lower intestines.
How is it to be a twin, by the way? What's the best part about being a twin?
It's like having your best friend from birth.
Oh. And you're identical.
Correct. We are.
So when you're identical, are you in the same sac? Is that correct?
Yes.
But fraternal, they're in two different sacs. Do I have that right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
It's a little lesson that, maybe people are interested to know.
Well, with identical twins, the sperm splits the egg directly down the middle. But with fraternal, you have two different eggs that are fertilized by possibly two different sperms.
Right.
So, the difference.
I love it. And you're a pediatrician.
Correct.
And how does it feel to work with children?
I love it. I feel like if you're going to cry and whine and act like a baby, you might as well be one. So I can deal with children. I cannot deal with whining, complaining adults.
Yeah.
So children are wonderful. They watch you and they understand and they question and they trust and they teach you honesty.
That's right.
Because children would just tell you the truth. They like you, and they don't. And a lot of my babies don't like me when they first come in. And I said, Mom, just wait 2 years. She'll be my best buddy. And they usually turn around. I usually just love them to death. So they turn around. But children are wonderful.
So you're with these children are you with them from birth until they become an adolescent? Wow.
Right. And when I first started practicing, I was a hospitalist before it was popular. And I was in a delivery room with a lot of the children, and I saw them before their mothers saw them. So I have special bonds with those children. And I would just remember, and when they come to visit me, I say, oh, I remember when you were in the hospital and your leg was turned funny, and I remember this, and they say, you remember that? I say, yeah. But it's wonderful. You get a little legacy with them.
I love it. And now, what advice would you give to somebody who wants to get into medicine now? Because that seems like it's going to be a hot thing with what's going on now. So a lot of students are going to want to get into science and medicine. What advice would you give to somebody?
I would always tell them, do it for the passion and the love and not the money. Medicine is a beautiful field, but can also be cold and tiring and thankless. You have to love people. You can't love money. You have to love and have a passion for the people in order to listen and diagnose. And I would always tell them, when you come into medicine, treat that client as if they were your family member. And you will not be callous, and you will be loving, and you will be considerate.
And you're also an instructor as well, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. I instruct not as many medical students, but more FMPs and medical assistants and nursing assistants. And I help them when they're going through clinicals.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that when we go into the rooms and we talk to the clients, I always tell them, don't look at what they come in for. Go deeper, go beneath, because a lot of the reasons, the diagnoses they give when they come in are what we call admission tickets. They're just to get their foot in the door, but it could be something actually different. And if you don't take time to interview them, do a great physical and history, then all the tests that you order will be for naught, because you're not listening to the client. They're the best clue to what's going on with them. Always listen to a mom. A mom knows their child.
And what do you think the easiest way is for a person to learn when you're teaching them?
I think the easiest way for a patient to learn, for my students to learn, is when I just say, listen, there's no wrong answers. Let's go in there and let's find out. When they feel free to answer wrong, it's okay. That's the best learning. No one learns under a dictatorship. No one learns when you're frightened. You learn better when it is conducive to learning. We learn to correct in private, not criticize. Correct in private and praise in public.
It's the best way to learn. It's the only way to learn, because then what happens is people get nervous and they end up panicking, and then you can't even talk and you can't help out the patient. So that's very good advice. Thank you. As of late, we're staying on top of our health and the immune system. What recommendations would you give to a parent to support their children's immune system? What can they do now?
Well, the first thing is proper diet, proper rest, and just love. Children are so frightened because they don't understand this virus.
Yeah.
But this is a good turning point for parents to spend more time with their children. Both of you learning to eat healthy, because you can't run out to these fast food restaurants and all these little hot dogs and McDonald's. But you're sitting down and having home-cooked meals. You're having vegetables. You're drinking water. You're having rest. You're spending time. But it's still important for them to have a little bit of sunshine. You have to let them have some sunshine and let them play, because they're kids and they need to play.
So their immune system needs to, I mean, you know how they say, like, when you have germs, you need good germs in order for your immune system to keep building and getting stronger. So they want to play outside, come home and wash their hands, right? Like, just let them go out and
let them watch. Yeah, just in their backyard, because you got to observe social distancing. We have to. And we know kids going to charge, kids going to kick, kids going to hit. But what we want to do is just let them go outside and get a little, that energy out, just a little frustration out. Let them come in, wash their hands. And a lot of times I tell them, wash your little faces, because pollen is still in the air. You still got to take care of that. But we were old-fashioned. We had to wash our face and wash our hands. And a lot of the old-fashioned ways we're going to have to go back to, because they were good practices.
Yeah. Did you ever think in your profession that you would see this, or in your lifetime see this, this pandemic that's going on?
Never. It really caught us off guard. We've gone through serious things. We've had, H flu, we've had birds flu, we've had Ebola. We have had different things, but not to the extent of this coronavirus, or COVID-19. It's a new creature. It's a new animal. And we really don't know what to do, because everything is evolving around it, and you're finding new factors. And as soon as you say, oh, I got it under control, there's something else comes to just knock us off the wagon. So it's an exercise in patience and learning, and an exercise of caring and giving. It's not a time to be selfish. It's a time to help people.
I agree. And how are you holding up in this pandemic?
Well, in my office, we have restricted hours. we're doing the PPEs with your gloves and your gowns and your mask, and we have reduced hours, and we see the sickest patients maybe at a certain time. And I see my children, the newborns, in the morning, so not to expose them to sicker older children. You make accommodations. It makes you more resourceful as a doctor. We do some telehealth, and but the main thing is we get our patients taken care of. That's what.
Have you had any COVID patients?
Not that I know of. We never know. We
Yeah.
never know. But not that I have, have tested positive.
And how is your staff and how's your staff handling this as well? Do they come to you? Do they ask you for advice?
In terms of COVID-19, no. In terms of personal things, yeah. But not work-related, yeah. But not COVID, no. Not really.
And when you're not busy treating patients, how do you spend your times nowadays? How are you spending your days?
Well, I'm cooking more. I'm binge watching Netflix.
What are you watching on Netflix? What does a pediatrician watch on Netflix?
I watch everything, just regular movies I never got a chance to see.
Yes.
Because I was already so busy, and then I'm just, I look at cooking shows, I look at gardening shows, I look at regular movies, and I said, wow, this is what Netflix is like. Because I know people always say Netflix and chill, and I said, what are you talking about? I really don't have time to look at it because I'm charting, taking care of patients, doing things. But now you can slow down, kind of declutter your house, declutter your mind, and just go on and do what you have to do.
Very nice. And what would you say about the state of the world today? And what are your hopes for the future? Do you think we'll go back to where we were? They always talk about a new norm, but what do you think?
I feel that the world has finally kind of been on the same level playing ground due to the COVID-19. I think it has either brought out the best of people or has brought out the worst of people. And this is a pandemic that affects everyone, all social classes, races, ethnicity. And it's not a time for politics. It's a time for unity. So I think in ways we are becoming more united, but also in ways it's like a dichotomy. As Charles Dickens would say, it was the best of times, it was a good best of times, and it was the worst of times. You see the good and the bad and the ugly in people, but there's still hope. You see people gathering together and helping. You see people on the front lines, the doctors, the nurses, the sanitation workers, the teachers, people working in grocery stores. We're all in camaraderie with each other because we got to get it done. And I just hope that we would change and be more patient and have time for our families, because we would never go back to, we may go back to seeing movies and going shopping, but I think the mentality has changed, that we're going to start prioritizing what is important and what is not.
And what about our mental health? What advice would you give to keep our, keep ourselves happy and spiritually happy?
The best advice I can say is pray and know that it's going to get better because God is in it.
And always have I always say that, always have a connection with God or whoever you feel comfortable with. I'm a strong believer in that. I know that we can't do this on our own. And, when people just don't believe in anything, it's just, what's the point of this whole thing? What's the point of life when you don't have anything to believe in?
Well, there's a point of life that somebody needs you more than you need you.
Yeah.
We start prioritizing and taking it off of us, because there's a reason for everything that happens in the world. And we're going to learn from this. We're going to learn what to do and what not to do. We're going to have to learn. We're going to have to come out of this stronger. We cannot come out the way we were before, because it inevitably has made us stronger and it's made us different. And so with mental health, allow yourself to laugh, allow yourself to cry. Give yourself 15 minutes to cry. Don't cry all day long, but give you a free time. Say, well, today 15 minutes, I'm going to cry because I lost my job. That's okay. You wipe your face and then you start looking for a job. Or you do what you can do. You learn a new trade. You learn a new skill. But you don't give up. And you don't lose hope.
I love it. That's really great advice. Thank you so much. You're an amazing woman, and I've enjoyed speaking with you these past couple of weeks.
And so have I you.
Thank you. Dr. Whitney, you can find her at her website is www.regional1health.org. So you can call her as well, 901-515-5800 when you need a new pediatrician to go to in Memphis, Tennessee. So thank you so much for having us. Thank you for being a part of Preferred Health, and we look forward to seeing you again.
All right. And it was so nice talking to you. You be careful and be safe.
Thank you so much. And we'll talk soon.
All right. Thank you again for inviting me. I feel very honored.
Well, we're honored to have you, and we thank you so much. You're a beautiful woman.
All right. Thank you.
Bye, Dr. Whitney.
Goodbye.
Bye.
And good weekend.
Thank you. You too. She's so nice. It's so nice when you have nice doctors that you work with. Our next guest is Dr. Shafaie. This is my guy. Where is he? Is he here?
I'm here.
Hello. Where can I see you? There you are.
How are you?
How are you doing, sir?
Good, good.
How are you holding
beautiful.
up? Thank you so much. Well, that's because of you. You have no idea what you've done for my life. Like, if I can just say, I don't know if I want to get into this now. I have some questions for you, but perhaps can we talk about my surgery that we had?
Sure.
Quick, and then I'll get into my questions with you. But I actually had Kybella done. So, Dr. Shafaie, can you just tell us what Kybella is for under the chin?
Kybella is a substance, is a chemical agent that you inject to the fatty tissue, and it melts the fat. And you need a multiple injection to get rid of all the fat under your chin area.
Mm-hmm. And for me, I had it done, not by you, by somebody else. Wonderful, but it just didn't work. And it was actually sitting inside of my chin. So I didn't know what to do. And then I came over to you and you're like, well, let's do is it Vaser lipo?
No, it's not dangerous as long as you know how to do it.
Oh, no. I said, is it a Vaser? Is it called Vaser lipo? VASER?
Vaser liposelection. Yeah, this is an ultrasonic machine that only works on fatty tissue and does not kind of affect nerves or veins or arteries or anything or muscle. Just the fatty tissue. That's what they call it, the Vaser liposelection.
Mm-hmm. And I was a perfect candidate for it. Is that correct?
You are a perfect candidate. You're young, beautiful, and you need a little extra fat under your chin that we just melted down for you.
I was I was very nervous. I actually wrote about it in Preferred Health magazine. So please subscribe to this so you can find out exactly what I went through. I gave a whole story and my experience. But yes, I mean, you were just, I want to just say for people who want to get this done and they're afraid to, please don't be afraid. Go to your doctor, speak with him. I sat down with this man for probably about a half an hour to an hour. And we sat and had a conversation. We got to know each other. And you actually have a technique that you use where, before we come into surgery, you want us to be mentally aware of what's going on and know what we're going to get ourselves into. And then after we're done, what'd you say? Take a picture? It's called the Shafaie lift. Is that right?
Yes, that's a facelift. That is Shafaie's lift. And it's a very limited undermining of the skin, and then tightening the muscle under the skin and pulling the skin back without any tension on it. That's why after the surgery, people, they look really normal. They don't look pulled or wind tunnel look. And they can do this technique multiple times without looking abnormal.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I had such a nice experience with you, and I tell everybody that because you made me feel so nice, and Sylvia. But just the way this looks right now, it gives you such great confidence because my parents had both turkey necks, so it's hereditary, right?
Yeah, it's hereditary, and there's a lot of people they have that, especially younger people.
Mm.
I go to my bank in my town, and I see this girl, very young girl, probably in her early 20s, and she has such a huge turkey neck, and I'm kind of dying to tell her to come and let me get this off from you, but I'm kind of embarrassed to tell anything to her.
Well, it's so funny. I was overhearing a woman talking about it at the nail salon before this whole thing started. So I actually gave your phone number because she was talking to her girlfriend, and she's like, "Yes, I need to get rid of this turkey neck that I have." And I'm like, "This is the perfect person to go to." So I hope they called you. You never know. So we're so excited to have you on. We have you featured in Preferred Health magazine. You actually won an award from us that you have in your office, and we
yes,
love that.
we have it in the office.
Yeah, we're just so excited that you were part of our patient preferred physicians, and you've been a physician for over 30 years. What inspired you to get into plastic surgery?
It was really always I was interested in nature and natural and the beauty. And my mother had a nose job when I was 12 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw that it's different, and I said, okay, when I grow up and become a doctor, I want to be a plastic surgeon, because everybody was talking that how magician is the plastic surgeon who did the job, because my mom changed so much. It was unbelievable.
Let's talk about when you're going to start reopening up your business. How has this pandemic been for you?
Well, I was closed my office for 8 weeks, but in the same time, I donated my office to the hospital.
Yeah.
They can use it in a case, and some of the nurses and doctors, they don't want to go home to their family, and they stay overnight, in my office. We have a shower and everything, so they can take a shower and go back. And now it's kind of less severe, so I'm going to start seeing patients once or twice a week. And the way it works, that I follow the CDC recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
So we see a patient, for instance, at 10 o'clock, and the next patient is going to be at 11 o'clock. And after I finish with this patient, my nurse and secretaries, they clean all the doorknobs, the seats, spray the seats, the examining room tables, everything that was touched, we clean. And then I see the patient at 11 o'clock. So we see patient 1 hour apart, and we try to be as clean as possible. And I promise my patient that when they come to my office, they walk to the very, very clean and environment, so they're not worried about getting any germ in my office.
But the same for you as well. You expect your patients to be honest with you if they have had a cough or if they have been in contact with someone who had the coronavirus, right?
Yes, when they come actually in my building, before they walk up to my office on the ground floor, they check their temperature. They have to fill up this questionnaire, and then they let them come up to the office. So they do everything in the building before they enter the offices.
I lost him. I lost you for a second. You froze in time. I don't know if it's mine or yours. You froze in time for a minute.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to ask you, this isn't on my questions, but you being a physician, what do you think about this virus? Because you were a medical doctor before you specialized in plastic surgery. So what do you think of this virus, Dr. Shafaie?
Well, these viruses, they're becoming more and more strange and powerful by years. It started from N1H1, and then we go SARS, and then goes Mars, and all these things coming out. So the countries, they should be really be ready for these things. Like Taiwan is the country that have unbelievable. There are 23 million people, and they only have 800 cases and 6 deaths.
That's right.
And New Zealand totally eradicate the virus in their country. So we have to find out how do they do it, so we can do it in here too.
And it's so funny because China and Taiwan are like right next to one another. They're so close.
Yeah, it is, and unfortunately, there is a problem between these 2 countries, and but the health-wise, I mean, Taiwan did an amazing job, to control the coronavirus. So the same thing is, as I said, in other countries, like New Zealand, we have to find out how do they eradicate the virus.
Yeah. Do you think once we start opening that we will have a relapse, or something is going to happen again?
Well, they're always going to be a little relapse. Like South Korea opened, and they had in 1 week they have 3,000 new cases. So they end up closing again that area that they were opening. But it's happened. It's going to happen. It's going to go up, and most of the people, they get this virus, but they don't get sick. So you can't really shut down the economy because of this virus, because people are out of job, they don't have money to buy food, and it's horrible. You have to start, and people have to follow the instruction. I mean, people, they have to have a mask on, they have to have gloves on. If they sneeze or they cough, go to their elbow so they don't spread it all over the place, and try not to, to gather without the mask together and, socialize until this thing goes away. But we as a people, we can control this. But if we listen to the authority, I think the country should open and slowly, but with instruction on how they can follow and how to protect themselves. If somebody has a sore throat or develop temperature, stay home. Call the authority that you have that, and they want to test you. So staying home 14 days and stay in your room, not to be with the family. Because that's another thing you have to be careful. You can't just be in the family, stay in the home when you're sick, because you give it to everybody else in your family.
What have you been doing with your time at home?
I'm enjoying my family. We go for a walk with our dog, and it's unbelievable how wonderful it is to cherish these times that you have with your family, because these times they'll never come back. They're gonna get married and they leave, but now they're all together. We have breakfast together, lunch together, dinner together, and then we watch TV, and it's amazing. One of my sons is in Texas, in Dallas, so he can't come because of the plane. They don't fly to New York that often.
Yeah.
So we do FaceTime. We enjoy, FaceTiming every night, and so it's my point to the people is to enjoy your family now. It's the greatest time to really appreciate your family, cherish their being with you and you being with them. So I really enjoy it, and I read and I listen to the music. I go for a walk. So it's fantastic. It's just kind of a forced vacation. It's good. It kind of wakes us up,
Yeah.
Life is very fragile. So enjoy your life today as you can.
Yeah. I'm sure you needed a break. You were working a lot with your patients.
Yes. That's what I learned. You have to really enjoy yourself and not to work every day. And, so it's kind of a teaching. We'll never go back to normal
No.
after this. It's going to be totally different environment for everybody.
Because you have 2 offices. You have one in New York City and you have one in Summit, New Jersey.
Yes.
Yeah.
The New York office was closed in March, and New Jersey office was closed in March 16.
Wow.
So we still closed. The New York office is completely closed.
Oh, so you're not opening up New York as of yet. You're opening up New Jersey.
No, I'm going to open New York in June, but they use the office for some people in the hospital. They use the office, but I gave all my mask and gloves and IV poles and oxygen monitors, to the hospital to use because they were in shortage. So when I come back, I need to get those things, and unfortunately, you can't find them anywhere. Every place you call, and they said, "Oh, we are back orders." So.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That was nice. I mean, you're so wonderful that you're doing all this. Yeah. I appreciate you very much. And we appreciate you being on this show. And I can't wait to see you soon.
Okay.
But thank you so much. You can find
Dr.
Shafaie on Instagram, and just provide us with your email address, not your website, please.
It's medfem.com or Farrokh Shafaie MD.com.
Thank you, Dr. Shafaie. It was wonderful to see you.
My pleasure, Melissa. It was a pleasure seeing you again.
And I'll see you soon.
Take care now.
Thank you. Be well.
My pleasure. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Where's Julien, Mr. Farel? Is he here? Hi. Can you hear me?
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
It's so nice to see you. Let me put this so I can see you. There you are. How are you guys doing?
We're doing, as good as we can. We do different things. We've been closed since March 21st. So since that, we wait a bit in New York, and then on May 1st, we finally move to East Hampton, to our house in East Hampton, because the children, we found out the children were not going to go back to school. So there was no reason to stay in New York. And, we have more activity to do up here.
You're in a beautiful spot there.
We are in a beautiful spot, but it's not easy to, I was listening what the doctor was saying before. It's not easy to enjoy family, enjoy everything when you don't have a schedule, because we are depending on, we have a community to take care of, we have 120 people.
Yes.
So, and then we have, of course, our client, and we have an incredible communication with them, and our communication with PR, operation, thinking about what's going to be to the next, and when we're going to reopen. So all that, and of course our products company with different zone time in Europe also. So all this takes time, and you end up working 24/7 on Sunday, on Saturday, on every day. So I almost like better to have a life where it's actually your time, where you work hard and for many hours, and then the time where you actually chill out. So, but it's listen, it is what it is. We have to go with what the event is, and also that teach you a lot of things, like life is fragile.
It really is. Yeah. And you have such a beautiful family. I like watching your pictures, and you guys are able to be with one another. And we actually had Julien Farel. Julien Farel is a stylist, a celebrity stylist. He's worked with people such as Barbara Streisand. This man has worked on so many beautiful, influential hair, and he has a wonderful salon that I love so much is it the Regent Hotel?
Regency Laws Hotel in New York on Park Avenue, 61st and Park Avenue.
Yeah.
So we have a large operation there.
Yeah, so I wrote about him in Preferred Health magazine, and the salon is absolutely gorgeous. Very clean, beautiful. There's a gym, there's facial, anything, makeup. I had my makeup there, hair and makeup done for a couple of events. And this wonderful thing. You know how many compliments I get on my hair ever since I've used this? This is...
That's a game changer.
It really is.
That's my only shampoo. You know, Melissa, I have more hair at 50 years old than when I was 40.
Really?
But I only use that products, nothing else. That's my shampoo. It's a non-foaming shampoo. So if you go on our video, YouTube, or on our Instagram, you will see how easy it is to use because it's only one process.
Yes.
And as I wash my hair between 7 to 14 times a week, I needed to have something who's going to actually help to strengthen your follicle and your roots, as well as give the glam and take care of the hydration of the scalp, instead of using a detergent who's going to dry out my hair follicle, my scalp, and therefore could brought me to hair loss. So this is my magic, and this is, you know, we have 2 SKU. One is for color hair, one is for non-color hair. The one you're having now with the pink is color, the non-color is blue, but is orange and blue and orange and pink.
I love this so much. It makes your hair feel so, it doesn't weigh it down, you know?
That's it.
And everybody asks me, I get a lot of compliments on my hair. And ever since I use this, and you know, this is, you're not paying for it, you know what I mean? Like when I believe in a product, I want to tell people about it. So I really appreciate that, you know, you gave this to me, and I love using it on my hair. And you always say to make sure that the water is hot. So it keeps this with the hydration. Is that correct when you use this?
Correct. Yeah, and it's also one thing of this about this shampoo. It's a non-foaming shampoo, right? So don't think like you're gonna have big bubble and big sud. It's not. If you want, when you use it and feel like it's more like leathering, you add water, so it's gonna make it more like a, you know, very easy friend. But then, so I mean, like it's so. If you look at my video, it's so fast to use, and the best result is to see like, you know, we're going to be able to help to keep your hair alive for life. What is for me the biggest challenge in our industry, instead of just selling you a soap with a different perfume by another celebrity, you know, hairdresser or celebrity or athlete or whatever it is. So it's very important for me, like, to change the way we wash your hair.
When did you start getting into hair? You were pretty young, you were telling me.
I was 14 years old. You know, I grew up, I was in a professional soccer school to become a professional soccer player. And I, when my parents divorced, that's where I started to have a challenge, and I did not show up to some very important training for the country, for the national team. And then I got, I did not get asked a second time. You know, I missed my time, and it's maybe it's okay, because as I said to my dad all the time, I may be like a lousy soccer player in team B. Who knows? I say, you know, I did my road, and I think that was my destiny. And then I started doing hair in my grandmother's kitchen, doing her hair, and I went up from that.
And I've had my hair cut by you, and I love just the focus that you stay in, and you're just very concentrated when you're doing it. You don't talk to anybody. This is like your main priority. What zone do you get into when you're cutting somebody's hair? Well,
I grew up, you know, in the sport industry and sports school. And when you're in a sports school, we teach you to stay very focused. So when I cut hair, is like be an architect, and every hair needs to have a line to match the hair who is above. Therefore, when you do your layer or you do your line, you need to make sure everything is connected. It's what I call the geometry in a space. and you basically build a volume on a space. And therefore, for me, it was very important to do that and to focus and to stay very focused and be in my own zone, in my own cave on the minute I cut, because every haircut has to stay between 2 to 6 months as our clients fly from all over the world and they don't have sometimes the chance to come every month. So they need to really stay, and they are pricey. So you need to make sure they grow very nicely together.
So when I saw you, my hair was up to here, and you're the last person to cut my hair, because you said I want it to grow out perfectly. Yeah. And it has. It's
Yeah. That's
and
great.
What's so great about you is that you'll treat me the way you treat Barbara Streisand, or you'll treat, you're just a wonderful person. And the people that you work with are amazing as well. You have great makeup artists and hair. I can't thank you enough for everything that you do.
We have a full salon business with over 120 employees, 10,000 square feet. That was before the pandemic, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm doing from facial to any aesthetic, any wellness, fitness, and every men's color cut, of course, and nails. I mean, like everything you can think about wellness and beauty, we are into it. But what is we're going to see now when we reopen how it's going to be. So, but the main thing is when you said about how we treat people.
Yeah.
We treat people. It could be you. It could be Barbara Streisand or Gwyneth Paltrow or Salma Hayek or Catherine Deneuve or Richard Gere, and on and on and on. I treat people like everybody else.
Yes.
Because people are people. And people have a heart. People have feeling. And I think what we really give to people is to make them feel good.
Yeah.
And that should be for everyone. It's not about your, your social
status,
grade, right, or your color, or your race, or your whoever. It's like it doesn't matter. You're people, and for me, it's very important because I came in America with nothing, and I was sleeping on the floor in Brooklyn, and I had less than $2,000, and this country have given me everything. So I know where my feet are, and I know where my roots are, and I don't ever that to change.
You're so wonderful, and so is your wife. You guys are really very nice people.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Let's talk about what you plan on reopening. When do you plan?
So we are planning on reopening yesterday, and that did not happen. So now it looks like phase one's been pushed in New York City at least until June 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And we are not going to be in phase one. And I say that because the doctor are phase one and they will reopen on June 1st. And they were supposed to reopen on Monday, and they get pushed to June 1st. And for us, it looked like we could be in phase two, I hope. So that will be June 16 or at the end of June. We are ready. We have bought everything. We are a very clean salon to start. But now it's gonna be over clean. That means like 120 people, instead of all be together at the same time, now it's gonna be by zone and by team. So we're gonna have the people to only do shampoo. We're gonna have the people who only do. There will be no more check-in, check-out.
Really?
It's gonna be very touchless, and every hairdresser or colorist, so everybody. We're sharing our time. So we used to start at 8 and finish at 8. Now every day we're going to start at 7:30 and finish at 9 or 11. And it's going to start, it's going to be 7:30 to 2:30 and 3:30 to the rest of the day. So, and then they're going to be half of the team, and we're going to work to make sure like we are not all in together at the same time.
Right. That's the smartest thing. That's the smartest thing that you can do.
Yeah, and also we're gonna have as well the the mask and the protection, everything, the glove, the mask, the pump. I mean, like we have a whole scenario into it. It's a very
sorry, the customers are going to wear the masks as well.
Yes. The customer will have a whole protocol to follow through, because we can't take a risk for our community, for our employee, for the hotel, or even for the health of the client. We want everybody to be healthy and to be secure. So we have a special protocol who's coming. It will be sent ahead to the client. The temperature will be taken before they get into the building.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of not what, like the doctor said, they will have to sign before, and they're going to have to really sign. And if they had it, to make sure they are free. The same thing like any technician who had, if they're not having a note by the doctor, like they're completely clean, they will not admit on premises. We can't take a risk to be to do that. I mean, it's been 2 months we haven't worked, and it's a lot.
Well,
So,
we look forward to seeing you, and we wish you a successful soft opening. And thank you so much for your time. You can find Julien.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you, sir. Please head over to Amazon. I think you can pick this up at Amazon.
Yeah.
And on julienfarel.com.
And follow us at Julien Farel. We always have a lot of story to give you, and we are very into showing what we to remain human, people, and aspiration at the same time.
Absolutely.
Beside the beautiful hair.
And
Merci beaucoup.
Merci. Thank you so much. And he actually did Dennis Basso. He is the hairstylist for all the models in Fashion Week. So he's pretty amazing. Please give Julien my love, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye,
you,
Melissa.
sir. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Thank you guys so much. You too, sir. Thank you guys so much for joining us this Saturday. Please subscribe to Preferred Health Magazine. We give you a lot of information with love and care, and it's coming from a great place. And we're so happy to have these wonderful people on. How exciting. So thank you so much. Have a great week. Please check out my video with Misty Hoffman. She is a respiratory therapist, and we had about a 2-hour conversation. Just head over to my YouTube and go over to Pandora, iTunes, iHeart. Just subscribe, and I really appreciate everybody that watches the show and that loves it. And to my sister, Vicky, I love you. She's the best. She always watches my show. Thanks. Have a great week.